Well, good morning, podcast community. Well, sometimes we just have to figure it out. And this is what mindset is all about because there's no playbook to life. It's just figuring it out every step of the day, every day. So, Eric Watson is with us from his car. So, normally he prepares three tips that he always works with, and then we talk about those tips and how our viewers can apply them. We're just going to do one today. So, Eric, before we start, tell our viewers who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
Yeah, I'm Eric Watson, former professional basketball player internationally. I now work in finance with consolidated planning, so doing a lot on the individual personal planning side and on the business side. So whether it comes to different retirements, investments, insurance, so a lot in that space. But yeah, outside of that, still helping kids and with this basketball side, trying to get better.
Oh, that's so good. I just came from Rotary, and the gentleman that spoke, he's the head of the KSU, and I'm not gonna. I know it's a school, but let's just say it's addiction, and he talked about their success rate, which is 97.25, which is crazy because in the addiction world, which I play in a lot of areas and have personal kind of experience, it ain't close to that. And he had said 60/40, and I don't even know if it's that good. But here's where I wanted to go with that question. You have always, we've talked in the past about your relationships and the people you surround yourself with. Let's talk to our viewers because I know you met with your mentor coach last week. That's kind of crazy that you guys are still connected and still have a relationship. What would you tell our younger audience out there? How has that prepared you to be on a mindset podcast and the journey that you took from just playing basketball, just pick up games to making it to the professional level to travel around the world and play a game or a sport that took you to a high level? What would you say to our viewers about that part of your journey?
I want to make sure I'm hearing the question correct. Like, how did my relationships play a part in that, or?
Yeah, I mean, you associated yourself with the right people. You talked about the influence that your coach had on you. Share with our viewers that don't understand that connection and that influence that these people have had on you and how you obviously seek them out. Because I even remember you talking about when you landed in Iceland, you talked to a few people. Just you impressed me with somebody that didn't just go by himself and try to figure it out. You had mentors, you had people, you had relationships. And in business, relationships are everything. So where I want to do is what impressed you enough to say that was going to be important to you?
Got you. Yeah. So as far as that aspect, yeah, like the village plays a huge role in that. The different mentors. I feel like it comes in seasons. Like God put certain people in my life, and they definitely play different impacts. So like my coach that I was able to see, I remember in particular, like I said, he was very motivational and had a lot of quotes. And so, and like I can remember in sixth grade, that was when Kennesaw Mountain first started. And so I went to Kennesaw
Mhm.
Mountain High School, and like so he gave out a program for like sixth grade all the way up through high school. So when you're under that umbrella for that many years, it's going to leave an imprint. And his
Mhm.
main quote, we used to have a T-shirt and everything else. It would say, "Excuses not accepted, get the job done." And so, so as a young kid, it's like you read a quote and subconsciously, like you don't really understand the depths of quotes, but it's like it's almost like teaching your subconscious. So the more you hear that, and okay, and live action, it's almost like okay, you throw a little turnover away, throw the ball away, but coach, he dropped it, or but coach, they hit my arm. excuses not accepted to get the job done. So in that moment, that's all you're thinking. But
Mhm.
once you start getting older and then life starts applying, well, this happened, but because of that, it's like, you know what, no matter what, who cares if they said no, or who cares if this door closed, or whatever this adversity is. It goes back to that core value that had been imprinted on you at such a young age, to where it's like, okay, no, like, that's okay, figure it out. Like, that's life. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be, sunshine and roses, but you've literally learned through sports to find a way to figure it out. And so I would say that definitely, people like that in my life definitely had those different imprints. And so, I mean, I can go down the line of like different people that have come into my life, home values. You got parents that kind of instill things as well. Hey, things are not always going to be just straightforward and just this easy ride. So when a challenge hits you, okay, what are you going to do? You going to stop and just crumble? Or are you going to figure it out, adapt, and figure out how to overcome it? So,
Man, that is so good. I'll tell our viewers, they might have heard the podcast, but Tommy Stoner, who is a 30 plus year special forces Army Ranger. And when we were talking, even before he got on, the stress that they put people through in those initial few years is really to see how people will perform under pressure. And I'll hear, like, even Joshua Ford, who was a counselor at McEachern, he said to his students, if you're on time, you're 15 minutes late. And it's like, what he was trying to say is how you present yourself, how you show up makes a difference. And I'll have people, this is not everybody, obviously, but people go, hey, sorry I'm late. I ran into traffic. And I would say, how long have you lived in Atlanta? And they'll say, oh, 30 years. I said, did traffic just start, or has traffic been part of? Because I mean, hey, everybody's got traffic. I mean, to use that as an excuse for being late is kind of what you're just sharing. Your coach said that, you know, everybody has excuses. I mean, you can throw them out there. I know my mom would say every excuse is equal. I mean, it's like make up your excuse. They're all the same. It's so that is so good. So let's repeat that one more time, because I know you're you're on a tight schedule. So we normally go into your 3 lessons and help our viewers really get a better mindset as they embark on life. But give that one more time, because I think it's great.
the quote he would use and we would have on t-shirts would be like, yeah, excuses not accepted, get the job done. So,
Hey, I tell you, we're gonna have something. Okay, I'm gonna get my video guy to cut that and put that into a mini clip, because that says it all. I mean, when you think of sixth grade to high school, he's taking you through a journey with that kind of mindset. You're right. Oh, he hit my hand. He fouled me. He dropped the ball. I mean, that's classic when a person doesn't understand that, hey, it doesn't matter. You just got to get it done. You figure it out. So I want to thank you, Eric. But before you go, I want you to tell our viewers, I'm looking for it. How can they get a hold of you? Because you're making an impact out there, not only on youth, but you're making an impact in your career. So I know people want to say, how do I get a hold of Eric? Tell our viewers.
yeah, you can definitely reach me at the number that's on the screen, my cell, 404-788-3679, or feel free to shoot me an email. So my email is eric.watson@cplanning.com. Be happy to talk to you, whether it's further on mindset, finance questions. My journey's been interesting, so it's like, yeah, I like to say now, man, it's been a fun and exciting and interesting road from winning championships on the court to now, I guess, winning financial victories for clients. So
Yes.
we can talk. So I'd love to get to know. Always love getting to know people. So feel
Well,
free to reach out.
share this with people, because if you can get the mindset early of positioning yourself, like Eric just had from his mentor from sixth grade to high school, you start early with principles of money, and you have a right mindset, you're going to be glad later in life because, every day, I always say compound interest is the most powerful principle. And sometimes we say, I'll get to it later, and they push the can down the road. And every day we push it down the road is the more of an impact it can make on ourselves and our family. So, Eric, thank you so much for diving in here and giving us a chunk of wisdom. We
No
appreciate you so
problem.
much. So
No
thank you, Eric,
problem.
and good luck. I mean, have a fun day and make an impact like you are always making an impact on the lives that you touch. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You have a good one. It's always a pleasure to join you. So yeah, everybody have a
Okay.
blessed day.
All right. Thanks, Eric. Okay. So that was Eric. Man, that was so good. Let me repeat that one more time. That just is worth really understanding and digesting. And I think if we really understand that getting the job done and just put the excuses to the side, just get it done. Like Tommy Stoner even said that tonight, if anybody's hearing and they want to go to the event, you can Google search, or I don't know if we have anything up here. No, I don't think I have it in this one, but the ability for you to be around people, and there's going to be 12 Army Rangers that are transitioning to high level positions in the civilian life, and their organization is an unbelievable one. To be around people that are going to pull you up, not take you down. So anyway, mindset is so critical for our development as people, development as individual. I just came from Rotary, as I said, and the gentleman there, Blake Schneider, is, he's heading up the school there at KSU, leading the nation. I mean, their success rate is 97.25, and this is as it relates to addiction. If we don't get a handle on our self-medicating ways, that it'll lead us down a path that's not the one we want to be on. And I think, as he said in his talk, 60-40 is the success rate out there. And they're doing some wonderful things up there at KSU. They're actually leading the nation in being able to take kids that have gone into the wrong mindset and turning them around to get them going. Even Justin, who spoke, it was a student. His story was a wonderful one. And hopefully we'll get him on our podcast and you'll be able to learn from him. So, but what I want to do is, this is a short, if you're out there and you think you have been practicing mindset all your life or a big part of your life, and you think you'd be a good guest for our podcast, or if you want to own a part of the mindset podcast, maybe it's a military, maybe it's a professional athlete like Eric, maybe it's health and fitness mindset like Crystal Dew, Savannah Rose Johnson, she's crushing it. If it's holistic mindset, you would, or Joannie Chamberlain with that mindset that you have to be successful in business, and that her journey was from age 6, and that she prepared to get in her own business 10 years ago, actually more than that. But when you get in business, it's going to test every element of who you are. And so having a good mindset, preparing now, developing yourself, reading, personal development, journaling, goal setting. And there is a program that I think, and it won't be up here, but I want to bring up something because I'm seeing this. Yes, I'm seeing this come up. Lots of people say, I'm busy, I don't have time to do this, I'm busy. Look, everybody that's getting things done is busy. But I want you to invest in buy back your time. The understanding of the importance of always buying back your time is more than just outsourcing. It's really taking chunks of time that are pain points and removing that from your life and putting higher level activities that'll make a bigger impact on your business or whatever you're doing. So the key thing I want you to take away from our time today is he told a story about Oprah. We all know the success of the Oprah Winfrey Show and what she has done. I think she's now worth $3 billion. So you can look at her scorecard and say she's done pretty well. Do you know that in her journey right now, she works 2 hours specifically on her work? Now, that doesn't count all the other parts of her day. This is 2 hours a day. She is doing such high level decision making and high level work that she's not covering email, calendar. And that's where this program here, through our team in the Philippines, we want to bring to business people the first thing you should do is find an executive assistant. Find a person to take the email off your plate. Because when you're answering emails yourself, you're trying to make the decisions of, is it a good priority or not? Is this somebody else's priority or is it mine? You can't be working at a highest level to grow your business if you're doing these activities. So we want to take that off of you so you'll work on more development, better relationships, creating content, driving what we call the dial of your business and turning it up so you can grow, produce more, have a better bottom line. But it doesn't happen when you get home and you're worn out, wiped out, and you've tried to get 50 things done in a day. It doesn't work that way. The one other thing a story I want to share with you. Stephen Covey did this years ago, brought a person up on stage and did a visual story or visual example. He put small pebbles in a jar. He had 2 jars up there, put all the small pebbles in, filled it up. Then he dumped it out. And then in the next jar, he put the big rocks in, like 5 big rocks, then dumped the rest of the jar from the previous example into it. They all fit. They both fit, both jars, full. One had the big rocks in it, which are your higher priority things that you do each day. And the small rocks were the small rocks. So if you're constantly putting small rocks in your jar, don't be surprised that you can't develop relationships. You can't move the needle to grow your business and come home wiped out from handling small rock promises and priorities. So this will give you, if you want to do this, let me get Eric's information here and thank you, Eric, for squeezing us in today. If this is something that can serve you and grow in your business or put you in a better position to solve bigger problems, because business is solving problems. Hey, look, if you're a good problem solver, you'll be successful. So don't think problems ever go away. They just get bigger and bigger if you grow into them. So you can call me at 404-428-3006. This is only available to our podcast community. So if you haven't been on our podcast, there's one thing you need to do. Become a guest. Call or go to podcasterpetekane.com, sign up to be a guest, and we'll be in touch with you and put you on our show. If you've been on our show and you're like, dang, I can't get enough done every day. I need 25 hours. Well, it doesn't work that way. Everybody gets 24. But if you learn to take your 24 and apply your your better principles than somebody else, you'll get done more. You'll grow your business. You'll feel better about things because everybody gets 24, but not everybody will use their 24 the same. So that's the biggest difference in anything you do. You want to grow your business, get executive assistant services so you can pull the email and the calendar off your plate. So that's what I have for you today. We wish you the very best. We are putting into play 30 niche podcasts on different topics that the person that would be responsible for that podcast, either myself or another host, personally has been touched by it. You won't see us talking about, like, we have a person on that's talking about stroke survivor, and he's not a stroke survivor. Can't do the podcast on that one. Maybe it's a different one, but you have to have personally walked in those shoes because you speak from the heart to the head. You don't need to craft your words. You just speak from the heart because you've experienced that journey. You know what it's like to go through there. So thank you so much. I appreciate you being a guest. Share this with somebody you think could benefit by our podcast today. I'm Pete Kane, Podcaster Pete. Thank you so much for being with us and have an awesome day. And let me look here. Oh yeah, I got a couple of Twitter, whatever, people listening. So thank you. Share this with somebody that you know could benefit from a better mindset or improving their mindset. Thank you.